Why does nobody talk about when you start excessively exercising?
Hey bestie, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Bestie, like the video because it helps with my algorithm. So in today's video, we'll be talking about ex-fat women expose the side effect of losing weight. So I've put the stitches together so that you watch.
Why does nobody talk about when you start excessively exercising, eating correctly and dieting and losing an excessive amount of weight, that you lose your hair? I started working out last April. I started noticing my hair started falling out in July. And so I was like, oh, maybe sweat buildup, gel. I've been putting my hair back a lot. Let me just stop using gel and, just put my hair up, start washing it every other day. Nothing helped. Went to my hairstylist that I've been going to for 3 years. She says my hair is thinning. I couldn't accept it. I feel like I've tried everything. I've tried eating nuts and almonds. I've tried using oils. I've tried switching shampoos and conditioners. I've literally tried everything. And I've gotten to the point where, y'all, I have to accept it. Like, look at that. I know it's probably not very noticeable to other people, but my hair, there's no way I should be losing a palm full of hair in the shower. This is something that should be widely talked about. I genuinely was I've never had issues with hair loss. I've never had issues with growing hair. I've never had issues with my hair, period. And so I didn't really want to admit, hey, my hair is falling out. I don't know what to do. Maybe I'm just stressed. I've been stressed my whole life. What's different about now? So I'm just going to hop on vitamins and possibly do minoxidil. I don't know. It's really not that bad. I'm trying to catch it before my hairline goes all the way back. But yeah, let me know if y'all are experiencing this too, because it's a struggle bus.
I've lost 170 pounds and here are some weird side effects of losing so much weight. I now have wrinkles on my forehead, which I never used to have. My fingers shrunk so much they literally halved in size, so I had to buy new wedding and engagement rings. My bum hurts when I sit down for too long. I genuinely crave healthy foods because I know that they make me feel good. Oh my god, I am cold all of the time. I enjoy summer more because I'm not stressed about overheating and being uncomfortable and having to cover up. Your taste preferences change. I don't enjoy chocolate anywhere near as much as I used to, and I genuinely crave healthy foods a lot more now. Don't get me wrong, I do still really enjoy and crave junk food, but I bounce back to eating healthier foods a lot quicker afterwards. It is way harder to shave my armpits. Before, when I raised my arms, my armpits would be like a flat surface, but now they sort of concave in, so it's really hard to shave them. Wearing heels is not as painful, I think, because there's so much less weight on my feet, it doesn't hurt as much. My periods are way more regulated and predictable. My posture got better. I used to slouch all of the time, but now I naturally just stand up a lot straighter. My thighs don't chafe anymore, which is a godsend in hot weather. And this is a strange one. I used to get pins and needles all of the time, and now I never get pins and needles anymore.
Here are weird or unexpected places that I lost weight while losing 160 pounds. First and foremost, my neck. I swear to you, the day that I first saw my collarbones, I honestly had a panic attack because I did not know what they were. But I lost so much weight around my neck and my jaw and my upper chest area that yeah, seeing this freaked me out. Number two, my nose got more slim. Hello. My nose then, my nose now. Crazy. Also, I lost weight around my eye area. My eyes are so much bigger than they used to be. I mean, my actual eyes didn't get bigger, but you know what I mean. I have more space around my eye area. Number four, my fingers and my wrists, so much smaller than they ever were. Same goes for my feet. I actually lost 2 shoe sizes while losing 160 pounds. I went from a size 11 and now I'm a size 9. And actually the same exact thing with my ring size. I went from a size 11 ring to a size 8.5, 9. I lost weight in my ankles. I swear before I lost weight, every single pair of socks that I would wear would always dig into my ankles. I would always have that really itchy red line around them. And now that rarely ever happens. And lastly, this one's for my girlies. I look completely different downstairs.
Let me tell you some differences from being 246 pounds to 138 pounds. The way I lost weight was through a calorie deficit, and a lot of people ask me what the reason really was for starting a weight loss journey. It was because I was pre-diabetic. One of the signs my doctor pointed out to me was actually my neck, and I had a big dark ring around my neck when I was 246 pounds. Not only was that around my neck, but it was also under my armpits, between my thighs, and all those like hidden spots. My doctor told me it was from insulin resistance, and honestly that scared me enough to want to look more into a weight loss journey. There is an actual term for it, and you can look that up. And I know I've mentioned the dark ring before, but a lot of people didn't realize that it had to do with me being pre-diabetic. When I was 246 pounds, I obviously had a lot of stretch marks, and these stretch marks were dark. By the end of my weight loss journey, I didn't even realize, but my stretch marks had started to turn very clear. And when I say clear, I mean like a shade of my skin tone that was shiny. Something I really didn't realize was going to happen, but when I took certain type of medications, I realized it would hit me a lot faster and I would feel the effects of it more. Something that is so weird, and I didn't even recognize this, my mom did, but was my sleep habits changed so much. Not only did I not sleep in as much, I stopped snoring. When I was 246 pounds, I was a very heavy sleeper and snorer, and I noticed a huge change in that like halfway through my weight loss journey. When I was 246 pounds, I obviously had a very different diet compared to now, but I noticed that a lot of the foods I used to indulge on quite frequently just honestly affect me way differently now. I noticed that now I just don't get sore like I used to when I was bigger and when I was working out. And I obviously still get sore like everyone else, but it just doesn't feel like it used to. After losing 100 pounds, I just realized how much gimmicky stuff there is out there and how many companies just prey on people and just like recommend products that aren't going to be doing anything for you. What's sad is I do realize that I was one of those people that fell for all those like fast, quick tricks. But I'm working on a current video of what I did throughout my whole entire weight loss journey, so be ready.
Weird things that I've seen within my body and around me after losing 67 pounds while treating my metabolic disorder. First major change that I noticed was being cold all of the time, including like 102-degree weather outside and humid. I was in a hoodie and sweatpants and wool socks all the time cold. So another thing is my fingers are always cold. I'm always having to keep them moving to keep that circulation because they are always cold. My feet do the same thing. Along with that, on my fingers, they shrank. So I had to have my engagement ring resized when I finally finished losing the weight. And yeah, it's still, some days it's a little bit looser than others. And so that was really interesting to see how much weight and water you can retain on your fingers. Something else that happened was getting used to loose skin. Loose skin, specifically for me, was on my stomach, my thighs, and my girls. It is always itchy and it can get uncomfortable, so moisturizing is really important until I hopefully one day have a mommy makeover. But just trying to keep those areas sanitized and moisturized are big. How much money I am spending on skincare to make sure that my skin has that elasticity and that bounce back is another thing that I have noticed. I have become more aware of taking care of my body, when in the past my biggest care was caring for my children first and me second. So I've kind of put them like first in line with each other. Like I am worth it of taking care of me first as well, like putting myself at that level that they are on. Also struggling with clothes sizing. I used to go back, and I still go back to the bigger sizing of clothing. It's where I gravitate to. Even if it doesn't fit me, I'm still going through that clothing rack. I don't know why. And then I eventually have to gravitate towards more of my sizing, or where I think I am, only to find out that's still not me. I need to go lower. My brain hasn't caught up with that part just yet. Another thing for me was cycles becoming regular. Like, the amount of money I'm having to spend on sanitary products, feminine hygiene products, was something I wasn't used to because I was not a regular girly. I do have PCOS, and the weight gain on top did not help. And I would say the last one, and this is certainly not the least, but one of the biggest, is the amount of privilege that comes with having a thinner body and living in a thinner body. Men hold the door for me. Men sneak up on my DMs. People that I went to school with, and I say people because it's men and women, are in my DMs. And it's crazy to realize the privilege of people wanting to buy you things at a store, or at like somebody wanting to buy my coffee. And I don't know if it's random acts of kindness, but I never had that before. So there are definitely a lot of things that I have noticed which are weird to me that people will do. So tell me in the comments if you have lost a lot of weight or are on this journey of better healing your body. What have you noticed that is different? I'd love to hear it.
Let's talk about signs that you're seeing progress on your fat loss journey, and none of them are the scale. So I'm in a ton of like fitness Facebook groups, and the biggest thing I see is like women talking about how the scale isn't moving. but their clothes are fitting better and they're looking more toned, but they're like totally hung up on the scale and they think that they're on a plateau because they haven't seen the scale go down. And this is actually like the biggest mistake that you're making on your fitness journey, is relying on the scale to tell you if you've made any progress or not. The absolute best form of progress is if your clothes are fitting better. If your clothes are fitting better, looser, anything like that, they're like clinging to your body less, and you feel like, you know, I could actually go like down a size, that is the biggest sign of fat loss progress. And who the fuck cares about the scale if you've dropped an entire clothing size? Because that means that you've built muscle and lost fat at the same time. So the scale is not going to reflect that, but your clothes are going to fit so much better, because obviously muscle is going to be a lot more toned than fat is going to be. If your body is looking more toned or losing measurements, then yes, that is a major sign of progress. One of the biggest things that I do with my clients is that I insist we either do progress pictures or measurements in addition to recording your weight. Weight I don't require, but I do require at least progress pictures or measurements, so we have some form of progress. But the thing is, if you're looking more toned and you can see more muscle definition, that is literally the definition of fat loss. Because fat loss and weight loss are two different things. If you're losing body fat, you're literally losing the outer layer of your body that is covering up the muscle. If you're losing weight, that can mean you're losing body fat and muscle. And we don't want to just lose muscle. We want to lose body fat and preserve as much muscle as possible, or you're not going to have that like toned and defined look. And the last one is going to be, if you're feeling stronger in your workouts, that is a great sign of progress, ladies. Like, the goal is to be stronger. The goal is to get stronger every single workout that you do. And if you're seeing that, that is a form of progress. I totally understand that, like, it's disappointing that it's not like weights or measurements or something like that, but do not neglect other forms of progress just because it's not what you would typically deem a success of fat loss, because having more strength is 100% a success, even if you can't see it right now. So just reminding yourself of other forms of progress that have nothing to do with the scale is so important.
Okay, I want to answer this question because I really like it and I think it's really good. If you don't know, my name's Ashley. I've lost 65 kilos. I had the gastric sleeve in 2023, and yeah. So in terms of how it feels to get to this point in my weight loss journey, I would say it feels like I'm a completely different person. I don't feel like we were ever the same person. I can't relate to her at all anymore. My eating habits are completely different. My mentality is completely different. My exercise is completely different. So it is shocking sometimes for me to remember I was ever like that. But I know I definitely was her because I have loose skin to show for it. I even have some on my neck. So I definitely have loose skin, but it is 10 times better than I ever imagined. My fitness level has made it so much better than I ever imagined. I enjoy moving so much. I'm a very active person if you've seen my account. But because I lost such a large amount of weight, 65 kilos, I definitely noticed changes over time. It would start with, being able to see my collarbones a little bit more or little things like that. But there were other milestones that I would hit along the way that would make me so excited. One of them would be, just tying my shoes without being out of breath. Or my favorite one was being able to cross my legs. I had not been able to do that for so long. And when I could, I was like, yes. And now I still like that all the time. And it feels like nothing. My life is completely different. And, a lot of people say that they are happy being bigger. Sometimes I think that they don't realize how good it could be. Even just my daily quality of life, what I was physically able to do was so diminished because of my weight. Truly changed my life. I went from being depressed, self-isolating, not having any friends because I didn't feel confident, and certainly not dating, and now I'm very social, very fit, very active, and I have an amazing boyfriend. So my life quite literally changed for the better in every single way. So yeah.
Things that changed once I lost weight. A little bit more serious topic for me, at least. I kind of lost my curves once I lost a lot of weight, and it kind of led to me having like insecurities I didn't have before that I have now. And I'm trying to work on it because at the end of the day, my health is more important. I know that. But sometimes it's hard because a lot of my clothes don't fit anymore. I've been wearing the clothes that don't fit me. But it's like I spent so much money on these clothes, like I still want to wear them, but it's like obvious that it doesn't fit. Okay, another thing that is like really annoying, if you're gonna be on a weight loss journey, you're gonna be like cooking at home a lot, meal prepping, so you have a lot more dishes to wash. Dishes and laundry, like constantly washing, and it like drives me crazy. There's always something to wash, there's always something to clean. So now that I have more energy, it's not too big of a deal, I guess, but it still gets annoying. Another one that is kind of like more on the serious side is people will comment on your body once you lose weight. So you're gonna have people telling you like, oh, you look better before, or you're not skinny enough, or you need to keep going, whatever, you know. Definitely take a toll on my confidence, you know, like especially when it's like family, like somebody that you love is telling you that, like it kind of hurts my feelings. And they'll also comment on like your eating habits, like they'll assume that you're on like the GL1 thing, or like gastric sleeve. There's nothing wrong with using that stuff, but like I worked really hard for this. The fact that I worked so hard to lose weight and people just assume that I did something, yeah, it kind of sucks, but you just have to brush it off, because at the end of the day, your health is a lot more important. It's so annoying. So yeah, it's family for you. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't want it to discourage you from starting your weight loss journey, so that's not what I'm trying to do here. I just want to be honest and, you know, let you know what you're getting into, because it can be a little bit overwhelming. Right, that's everything that I have for today. Please let me know if you have any questions. Good luck on your fitness journey.
Hi, I'm Amber, and if you don't know me, I lost 160 pounds all through diet and exercise. And yes, I have a lot of loose skin, and no, I don't hide it. I made a lot of videos showing my skin. I have a whole playlist, and I just do it to help normalize it. You know, there's nothing wrong with loose skin. It happens with extreme weight loss, and I just want everyone to feel comfortable with it, regardless of how you lost your weight. So this is loose skin on my stomach. There's a lot of it. And everyone's experience is different. Just because that's mine doesn't mean that it will be yours. I carried the majority of my weight in my stomach. So yeah, this is the result. But I do have some on my back, my legs a little bit, but for the most part, mine is mainly on my stomach. Do I always love it? Of course not. Do I sometimes just wish I could snap my fingers and have this gone? Of course. But I'm much healthier now, and that's all that matters.
A month ago, these pants did not fit comfortably, and now, like, I have room. Morning when I got out of bed, the first thing that I noticed was that my body didn't ache. Like, I slept all night, and I slept so good, and I put my feet on the floor, and I did not feel an ache or a pain, and I can't tell you the last time that I felt that way. There are literally countless things that have just been improved. My clothes all fit better, my body feels better, I don't feel like it's achy and painful. Like I said, they did not fit a month ago. Like, they were just way too tight, and now they're already starting to fall off me. So I'm just really excited to actually have some more fashion options and just things like that, the non-scale victories that are all ready to come.
Cancel me, call me fake, but this is all loose skin. And these are my go-to leggings. They're by Skims. They smooth everything out. They compress all of my loose skin. So, like, all of this has been hiding under there. And I swear by it. And I just want you to know before I get this thing removed. This has been my lifesaver. I love it so much. And if you have this issue, you're gonna love these. These are the Skims leggings, the Skims body leggings. Ugh.
Okay, hear me out. Has anyone ever lost a bunch of weight? I myself lost 95 pounds since August 2018 and found out that you are so different compared to who you used to be. Let me explain. I lost 95 pounds, and before I used to wear crop tops, mini dresses, short skirts, short shorts, and be absolutely okay with it. Like, I used to kill the shit, honey. But now I am so self-conscious about like the extra blubber, because I was so solid during that time, that I just nah. Do you guys feel that way? Like, am I the only one? And just to add more clarity to the situation, I also have realized that no matter how much weight I've lost, I will never be satisfied. I will never be satisfied. I will never be satisfied. And it's creepy because it's like, yo, you've done so well. Why haven't you gotten to the satisfied stage? Does anybody else feel like that? Like, hello? I lost 42 kilos in 1 year using a hormonal based diet, and these are the side effects that no one talks about. So the first side effect is always feeling cold. So the hormonal based diet focuses mainly on fat loss. I've done a video explaining the difference between fat loss and weight loss. So because of losing the excess fat on my body, I lost the insulation that the fat gave. So right now, whenever I'm in an environment and it's cold, I suffer a lot. So my body right now can't stand the cold at all.
That's the video, besties. I'm just here just to add on like what I think about today's video. In today's video, we're talking about expert women expose the things or the side effect of losing weight. Bestie, we always hear the good side of losing weight, that compliment, the new clothes, the energy, the confidence. But what no one tells you is that losing weight also comes with a dark emotional and sometimes physical side that catches many people off guard. This is a part of the journey that doesn't make it into before and after the pictures. It's a quite month after. Only those who have been there truly understand. When you start losing weight, people suddenly treat you differently. Friends who never notice you before start calling you beautiful. Strangers smile more. It feels good at first, but deep down, you realize that they are seeing you not for who you are, but for the body you have now. You start to wonder, were you invisible before? Did your weight depend on your size? The realization can be painful even as you celebrate your progress. Then there's a physical part. Losing weight changes your body in ways that are not always glamorous. Loose skin become a reminder of your past self. Sometimes you carry even when the fat is gone. Hair loss, fatigue, hormones changes. These are real side effects that people don't show online. Your body goes through a shock when it sheds a lot of weight, especially fast. You might look better to others, but you can feel weaker inside. Emotionally, weight loss can mess with your mind. You start chasing a vision of yourself that never satisfied. You lose weight, but sometimes you also lose a part of your identity. For so long, you were the big girl or a big guy, and now you are the big girl. Okay, the compliment fades, the excitement slows down, and suddenly you feel empty. You realize that weight loss doesn't fix everything. It does not heal the insecurities, the emotional, the pain that made you overeat in the first place. Another side effect is loneliness. When you change your habit, you also change your social life. You say no to dinners, you avoid drinking, you skip nights out. People might not understand your new lifestyle. You might even lose friends who prefer the old vision of you. And when that happens, the journey starts to feel isolating. You start to miss the comfort of food, the comfort of old routines, even though they were things that held you back. But see, the truth is, being thinner doesn't automatically mean being happy. You can have a small body and still feel insecure, still overthink, still struggle with self-worth. Some people even develop eating like a lot or body dysmorphia after losing weight because they become obsessed with staying small. It's a silent battle. One thing that people don't talk about because it doesn't fit the inspirational narrative of society. What they don't tell you is that maintenance is the hardest than the actual losing weight. Once you lose it, the pressure to keep it off is constant. You live with fear of gaining it back, fear of judgment, fear of failure. Every meal becomes a mental calculation. Every pound gain feels like a personal defeat. You start to realize that freedom doesn't come from a number of scale, it comes from the peace of mind, and that's something you have to rebuild after the journey. But here's the truth. You can heal from that too. You can learn to see yourself beyond the number and stretch marks. You can learn to enjoy the food without guilty and love your body at every stage. Weight loss is not just about physical transformation. It's an emotional rebirth. But like any rebirth, it comes with pain, confusion, and growing pains. You have to learn to accept the new vision of yourself, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. At the end of the day, being an expert is not just about what you lost, it's about what you gained: strength, awareness, discipline, self-respect. You see the world differently, and you understand the real transformation is not about shrinking your body, it's about expanding your mind. The expert life teaches you that healing is messy and confidence doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from embracing scars, your softness, and your story. So yes, losing weight can change your life, but it's not a fairy tale. It's a compressed emotional journey filled with highs and lows. The side effects are real, physical, mental, and emotional. But if you go through it with self-love, patience, and honesty, you'll find something far more beautiful than a small body. You have to find peace, and that's the real glow up no one talks about. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate, and don't forget to like the video again, and let's leave their comments in the comment section. Let's discuss. See you in the next episodes. Bye bye.